Hi, and welcome to another edition of Sand Shark Bites. I'm your host, James Duffy, and alongside me, as always, the sauerkraut to our Reuben of a broadcast, Mr. Carlo Peruzzo. How's it going, Carlo?
It's going good, man. Can't wait to do another one of these. Our final one of the season. I can't believe it already.
I know. It seems like it just started and now it's over. And we've had a quiet week in athletics this week. It's nothing really particular happened, but we're going to give you some recaps and some future casts.
Some previews for next season.
We're excited about it. So the big news out of the athletics department this week is that we got all conference honors for Haley Pena and
Jared.
Lost that name real fast. So MJ and Haley,
they deserve it for sure.
They absolutely deserve it. Haley Pena, 12 goals and 4 assists this year for the most total points in a single season, which is a record for us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's pretty good for us. We're pretty happy with that. And for a career, Orduña's got 17 career assists, which is a tie to her first place record there. She had 6 over this season, where the season we didn't have a winning season, but we had a close winning season. Overall, 7-9-0 in the regular season and 4-6-0 in the Sun Conference.
Those two really were a dynamic duo. Like they clicked so well. The chemistry was there. I mean, Haley had an amazing season, but if it wasn't for MJ, I don't think she has half as good of a season as she did have. I mean, Haley's going to score. There's no doubt about it. She's that good. She's a pure goal scorer. But MJ's playmaking skills is better than anyone I think I've seen at this school.
Truly does create those opportunities, and that number of assists really goes to show what a talent she has.
Oh, yeah.
And then they've got, after this semester, they've got 16 more weeks, and then they're off to
That's crazy.
bigger and brighter horizons.
Yeah, leaving with me.
I'm telling you, everybody's leaving. It's going to be a rough year at graduation for me. But moving on, what else we got going on? There's really nothing that's happened, but we do have some track and field that's going to start up for you. December 18th up in Winston-Salem, the JDL Fast Track indoor facility.
Right.
Little pole vaulting.
Little pole vaulting inside, yeah. Coach Gaither and I were talking about this last week, and he's saying that he's got some high expectations for the pole vaulting guys, and they know what they're doing, and they should have a pretty good indoor season.
So a small squad heading up there December 18th, and then a couple of weeks later, December 2nd, will be the actual college kickoff tournament.
That seems so dangerous, indoor pole vaulting. Like, what could go wrong?
Well, I think indoor, like, javelin is
that's probably
terrifying
bad, too.
one. Like, you're coming back from the concession stand with your popcorn.
Javelin to the face.
Yeah, it'd be awful. But that's going to get ready to kick off, and that'll be the last sports we have of the semester before we kind of tell everybody goodbye for the holiday break, the month off that these students get after their last class ends.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh, shut up. Nobody likes you. That's why. You keep talking. But anyhow, we're really pleased with everyone's performance this year. Golf, both men's and women's teams had really good looks this year.
Newport Laparachkin. I mean, that kid is unbelievable. First place finish, second place finish, third place finish, 10th place finish. Not bad at all.
Seeing some good stuff on the women's side. Blanca Porto really.
She's really emerging this season.
Tearing it up. Sophomore golfer on that side. And
obviously, Francie Knoche, Emily Turner, they're always in the mix. They're always very good.
The last sport was cross country, and that kind of. We looked at that. Yeah. That was rebuilding here. That's what we looked at. We got a young team coming up strong next year. But so now we got track and field to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
And first weekend of February.
We get some baseball action.
Baseball and softball starting out February 2nd and 3rd. Baseball kicks off on Friday. Softball kicks off on Saturday.
I can't wait for that. It's going to be another fun year.
And you sat down with the coaches?
I sat down, yesterday I sat down with both Coach Bam for baseball and Coach H for softball. And we
Jeremy
talked
Christian
about,
for his mom out there, but
Jeremy
Bam,
Christian.
yeah.
So we talked about what they expect from their players this coming season, some new talent. What can they do this season to be successful? All
right. Well, let's go ahead and hear from
Coach Jeremy Christian.
Yeah.
I'm here with USCB baseball coach Jeremy Christian, or as we call him, Coach Bam. How you doing, man?
Good, Carlin, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, all right, let's talk about next season. You've had a very good off season, brought a lot of players in. What are some things we can expect from you?
Oh, wow. We're excited about another big year.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're trying to continue on the tradition we have here at USCB. Granted, this is our first recruiting class we have as a staff here, and we had to address some needs. And first and foremost, we had to address depth. So we've signed a bunch of guys, and we signed over 30 guys this summer. So it is a completely different look of a team here. But hopefully, these guys can continue doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we'll have another successful season. I think as far as what you can expect on the field of play, you're going to see some athletes out there running around. We're going to be faster. We're going to be quicker. We're going to play defense a little bit better. The guys continue to do things right, and we're on and off the field. Our tempo is good. And again, the biggest part is just going to be those guys adapting to our style of play and understanding the expectations and what it takes to be competitive inside this Sun Conference.
Right. Awesome. So, as you said, you brought in a lot of players. Are there any talented players? Do we have some new talent coming in here?
Yeah, no, we've got a ton of players. We've added, again, depth at every position. And I think that was the goal. Anytime you start to build a program for the first year, you're recruiting for depth, and then after that, year 2 and year 3, you can start to pick what you need from a junior college transfer or a high school, player. But we had to have depth, and we needed depth all around, especially in the infield and some of our key positions. We had to have depth at shortstop. We had to have depth behind the plate. We had to have depth throughout the infield, really, and we had to have depth on the mound. So we brought a ton of guys. We've got a great mix of junior college transfers, 4-year transfers, and some good high school players. We're excited about that depth. I think the biggest one, and the truth is, it's not really a new player, but having Chris Vasquez back is a big one for us. Vazzy was slated as our starting shortstop last year, and he was broken foot in week 1, missed a season. But just having that guy back, that's a big impact for us. It's like grabbing a starting shortstop at the break.
Right.
So that's a big move for us. But a lot of talent, and I'm excited to see how these guys play out and really see the roles that they adapt to and how they excel throughout the spring.
Right. So besides from these new guys, I know you have a lot of returning players that are ready to go. Guys like Alex Murphy, Bobby Wenthy, Zach Burke, Nick Constant.
Right.
Do you have big roles for these guys this season?
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys have, they've got some experience under the belt, and there's no, you can't put a price tag on experience.
Right.
These guys are good, and they've had a good year inside the Sun Conference, and now we kind of lean on those guys heavily to really lead our team and show our guys what it takes to be successful inside this league and beyond. These guys have all been successful at other places, and I expect them to do the same thing this year. But those 4 guys, those are impact guys for us. Wenthy and Murphy were both all-conference selections last year offensively, and Burke and Constant saw tremendous innings on the mound. I think Burke had 60-plus, 70-plus innings last year, and he's going to be expected the same thing. Constant's fully healthy. But those guys, they have experience, and they have the ability to be high-end players for us, and I expect them to go out there and do what they're used to doing, what they've done all along, but also this time it's no surprise to them. They know what to expect. They know the conference, they know the player level, the talent level in the league, and they can really take the new guys that we have here and show them what it takes to be successful inside this league.
Right, exactly. Pitching. Let's talk about pitching now.
Right.
We lost all of our weekend starters from last season.
Right.
Some great arms. Justin Cortez, Wade Ardini, Julio DePena. Do we have guys that can take their place and fill their shoes?
That's a tough question because it's hard to replace those guys in one recruiting class.
Good.
And we were very fortunate. Ardini and Cortez, DePena, those guys were tremendous arms, frontline starters, and it's very difficult to replace a staff in one recruiting class, especially one at that level. I feel comfortable with the guys we've brought in, and we might not have the sheer high-end talent as those guys, but I feel like the depth we brought in is going to be very beneficial to us. We signed 20-plus pitchers, and we've got an entirely new staff. We've got a boatload of arms. We have 7 left-handers. We've got guys who can really pitch at a high level, and as these guys develop and get inside our system, we can grow them and get them better. I think long-term down the road, they're going to be able to meet that need that we've had in the past. But I think this year it's going to be more of a committee. Can we survive off of depth, and can we have the guys to do? Can they get 6 outs? Can they get 3 outs? Can they get 9 outs? And mix those guys in with a Burke and a Constant, those guys that have started in the past.
Right.
But as you know, you're only as good as your starting pitching, and we've got to have pitching to be successful in this league. And week in, week out, you're going to face somebody's A guy. And I feel like we've got the guys that compete with that. And I think our depth is going to be a tremendous difference in the back end of conference play.
Awesome. So now let's go to offense.
Okay.
for the past couple seasons, the offense here has been extremely potent. They can score runs. They can hit home runs. Do you expect that for this season as well?
It's going to be different. Our style of play that we've had probably the past 10 years is not built off extra base hits and power.
Right.
Obviously, you look at the size of our ballpark and the wind that blows in, and
right.
Bobby Winthy breaks the home run record in one season with 13 home runs, but that shows you the career mark is 13 home runs. So
exactly.
There's not a whole lot of balls leaving the yard here. We had a very potent offense last year from extra base hit percentages. These guys could really hit the balls in the gaps. They could elevate and blow it out of the yard. We're not going to be built like that going forward. We've got some guys who can do that. You've still got Winthy and Murphy and a few other new guys can do that. But we're going to be built more off of execution. We've got guys that can run top to bottom. The guys move very well. They can handle the bat. They can move. They can apply pressure. They can put a ball on the ground and beat it out, hit a ball in the gap and get to third. We're going to have to execute offensively. Speed never takes a day off. And there are days when a potent offense that can blow the ball out of the yard and might get overmatched by an arm.
Right.
Or you catch a day with a big yard and some big wind and it causes problems. As far as speed's concerned, I'm very impressed with our speed. We have overall team speed and our ability to execute. So our programs going forward offensively are going to be a mix of the two, but you're going to see a lot of execution, a lot of tempo, a lot of pressure, a lot of base running, and a lot of movement on the bases and let those big guys in the middle drive those runs in.
Right. So I'm sure a guy like Josh Taylor, when you talk about speed, he's going to make a really big impact.
Yeah, Taylor's a guy that can run. We've got several guys in that 6'4" to 6'6" range. Taylor's got track speed. The guy can really scoot. He's in that 6'3" range, 60. He can fly. But several of our new guys can really get down the line. So we've got several guys in that 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" range. Just tremendous speed, and can that speed translate to baseball? And that's what we've tried to recruit. Guys who are quick, but have good baseball speed. They turn well. They can stop. They can start. And what that does, it applies a lot of pressure. And the number of ground balls that became base hits in our fall was spectacular. And routine balls that go to the outfield become doubles, and balls in the gap become triples. And now, instead of having to rely on a 3-run home run, we can get a guy to second base, we can steal third base, we can score on a ground ball. We can do these things to make our offense more consistent. And that's what we have to be competitive inside our league.
Awesome. All right, so let's go. Last question. What do you guys have to do to be successful this season?
It's going to be tough. It's a very difficult league. We've got high-end presence at the top of the bottom, and it's kind of crazy. As a new coach of the league, I'm now about the fourth longest tenured coach in our league after 1 year. So we've got a huge turnover in the league. So now you're looking at new coaches at Ave, new coaches at Kaiser. You've got some guys that are spread out. So we've got some different areas and intangibles in the league that we have to deal with. So we're not exactly sure how that's going to play out. But what we do know is the league is very difficult. We've got 4 teams in the top 25 to begin the season. One time last year we had 5 teams in the top 25, and it's by far the toughest conference in NAI baseball. So for us, we're going to have to eliminate mistakes. I think what you see, in years past, the teams here have had a ton of talent. Last year we had a ton of just physical talent on the field, and you have some more room for error. If you've got guys that can blow the ball to the yard, you've got guys with high velocity, you have the ability to have a few more mistakes and still overcome. I think we've got to play cleaner defensively. We've got to eliminate some of these mental mistakes and these physical mistakes in order to be successful. If we do those things, we're going to be able to apply enough pressure. We're going to be able to excel offensively, and we're going to play really good defense. I think it's going to keep us in any game we play. So I think if we can do those things and our guys continue to buy into what we're trying to do and learn and adapt, which they've done so far to this point, I think it's going to be a successful year for us.
Awesome. We're all very excited. I can't wait for next season.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. I'm Carlo Peruzza. Please stay tuned to Sand Shark Bite.
Possibly the longest interview
we've
had since Coach Kimball in some time. You got a real succinct Coach Kimball interview earlier this year, but usually he liked to go on and on and on and had plenty to say. But that's
it. Just rolled,
Skipper's big interview right there. He's got the whole season in a nutshell for us.
Oh yeah, this season. I'm excited for this season. As he said, it might be a little different this year since we lost all of our weekend starters from last season. So those are some big shoes to fill. And like the offense too, we graduated some great hitters, guys like Brandon Joyce, Cal Davis. And in the past, we've really relied on like home runs, a lot of RBIs and stuff like that. And now he was saying that we're going to more rely on speed and base hits. So it's going to be different. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays. And I mean, we definitely got guys that can do it. And I'm just excited for the season to start calling some ball games.
Sounds like there's a lot of competition in the middle infield. And,
Oh, yeah.
Seems like Cam Thomas has got third base nailed down pretty nicely. And they've been out there hitting. They had their own little internal World Series that they went through, and they were real pleased with their results. So we're looking forward to see what they'll do for us come February. Be a little chilly out there in Hardyville at Richard Gray Park, and we'll be excited to see what happens. So you got another interview for us. Back to
another
back.
interview. We talked to Laura Heberling, the softball coach,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much just asked her to tell us what to expect from her girls this season.
Outstanding. I'm looking forward to this too. And let's see what Coach H has to tell us.
I'm here with USCB women's softball coach Laura Heberling. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So the season's fastly approaching. What can we expect for next season?
We just actually sat down as a team and went over goals for the spring, and we're working hard in the weight room this fall, and conditioning, and working on the little things to as a team that we can put it all together. But I expect from our team to be at the top, play at the top every day, do the little things right, and we should be able to conquer some things this spring. So yeah.
Right, awesome. So your team is pretty young for the most part. You guys have a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. What exactly does that youth bring to the team?
That youth sometimes brings excitement, excitement in the dugout. It has that energy level that they haven't been at the college level that long. Something new to them, but it kind of just also pushes the returners, the older ones, a little bit more so that they can perform. But at the end of the day, if the youth, they get that opportunity, they go in there and they want it. They work hard for it.
Right. Speaking of returning players, you had a couple players who performed very well last season. Abby Pack, Taylor Boykin, Kayla Boyle. What impact do you think they're going to have on the team this year?
They've had a lot of experience playing now for 2-3 years, and they know what's coming to them. So hopefully by now putting a little bit less pressure because they're ready for it, and just going into the season knowing, okay, this is what I'm expecting, but also knowing that we have a good group that we brought in this fall, and those players have been working really hard. We brought in some transfers, freshmen, and they're the ones who are going to come in and push the other ones to make them realize, hey, it's not just 3 or 4 players who are going to make a big difference, but the team as a whole. So.
Do you think we have some new players that can make an impact like those returning players?
Yeah, I definitely do. We've probably had a good 4 to 5 really this fall in games, get a little bit more playing time. They've got the experience, and I've had some JUCO players and transfers come in and really know what it's like to play at the college level and what it takes as a team. So they kind of come in and kind of gelled and meshed, and they're gonna continue this ride with the returners.
Right. All right. So last question: what exactly do you guys need to do to be successful this season?
That's the big question, but to be successful, to reach the top goal of the players wanting to win a conference championship, get there, win the regular season. We're gonna have to do the little things right. The little things are going to make the big difference in the end of the day. So at practices, being able to get your bunts down, being able to when we have runners on, to be able to score them, make things happen. At the end of the day, we just have to have more runs than the other team, and that gets us a win. But those little things are going to make the big difference at the end of the day. So.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. We're all extremely excited for next season. I'm Carlo Prusa. Stay tuned to Sandshark Bites.
A lot of good interviews there. A lot of good interviews there.
A lot of good interviews
on one day. That's a big thing for us here at Sandshark Bites. We rarely, if ever, do that, but there we go. We wanted to give you a good spring forecast. Nice job. And we'd like to remind everybody that the schedules for baseball and softball are already online. You can find them at uscbathletics.com. And while you're there, if you're not already a member of the Sandshark Club,
join it.
Join it. Discounts off all around town. But most notably, it's just a pride thing, and you can walk around with pride with that card in your wallet, and
Gonna come out, get some season tickets, some USCB sporting events.
There's all kinds of things you can get at different levels, and we appreciate the help. Don't kid yourself. We like our fans. We like the support. and we need it, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you very much if you've already been a member, and I'll thank you in the future if you become one soon. We usually come to this point of the game and we start talking about player of the week. We had no players.
Or the player of the week stuff.
Yeah, the Orduña and Pina got their own recognition in lots of places, and otherwise you'd give it to them. But this week we're going to forego it.
Yep.
We're going to wait until February to come around for our first player of the year in 2018. So anyhow, that's going to wrap it up for this year. You can continue finding us on YouTube and on the county channel. We repeat often, and you can always find us on demand if you want to watch this again and again.
Right.
Tune into your favorite episode. And Carl, you want to say anything else about the season, about the year?
It's been a good, fun season. A lot of fun keeping you guys updated on USCB athletics and sports. Go ahead and subscribe to the USCB athletics page on YouTube. I'll still be uploading interviews that I'll be doing with some players and maybe some catching up with Carlo segments. Go like my catching up with Carlo Facebook and Instagram page. I'm just doing a bunch of shout outs for myself right now. But
Gotta cover it.
Those are the pages you want to be subscribed to keep up with me and keep up with the USCB news and all your favorite USCB athletes.
Outstanding. All right, we can catch up with Carlo about anywhere, anytime we want to.
You can.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Another show in the books and another season in the books. And we're going to close this one out by saying thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you next year right here on Sand Shark Bites. Keep those fins up.